We will win. We will win. We will win.
Hello, my name is Liz Ashley and welcome to my channel. Today, we are going to be today, I'm gonna get very angry. Today, we are going to be talking about Democrats and how a portion of them, a lot of them, most of them, are just insanely incompetent on purposely. So yeah, I wanted to talk about Alyssa Slacken. That's her name, right? No, I feel like Sam Cedar. He can never get their name right. Alyssa Slacken. Yeah, there's a Republican with a similar last name, so it's easy to get them mixed up. Alyssa Slacken, she's a senator. She's actually a new senator, so she just got her seat. She's from Michigan. She's from Michigan? Wait, she's from Michigan? Okay, I didn't know she was from Michigan. That makes this even worse. That makes this even worse. Like, how is she from Michigan and being like the worst? Like the worst centrist ever. So I've been wanting to talk about this for, ever since Alyssa Slacken came out and criticized Bernie and AOC. And I guess this broader video is going to be about Democrats who are dividing the left, who are actually dividing the left, and those of us who, progressive, leftist, what have you, extreme, like the leftist extremists, the extreme left, whatever. That the people to the left of those in the center are the ones actually doing the damage. I don't think so. And I think that a lot of these centrists and I think a lot of these people who are capitulating to fascism like Cenk, who want to call people radical leftists, are the ones who are actually trying to divide the party. And I'm just going to get into that, okay? And we're just gonna be a little rant about that. All right, so first, like I said, let's talk about Alyssa Slacken. So Alyssa Slacken, she recently came out and said that Bernie and AOC shouldn't be talking about oligarchs. They shouldn't be talking about oligarchy because the American people just don't know what that means. It's too complicated. We just don't know what that means. It's too complicated. And so we need something just simpler, like king. Like a king. Like, we don't want him to be a king. So that's what she said. And this is my point. Like, people who are centrist or who are like your typical neoliberal neolib Democrat, right? They do this all the time, to Bernie in particular, but they do this all the time to more progressive candidates. People like AOC and Bernie get a lot of grassroots support, right? And they get a lot of support from the actual people. People like Alyssa Slacken get a lot of support from mega donors and corporations and lobbyists. And that's where the divide is, right? That's where the divide is. That's where the divide should be. If you are going to take money from mega donors, from corporations, from lobbyists, from AIPAC, then I don't think you should be in the Democratic Party. And I think that it's crazy that people always want to be like, oh, you're dividing the left. Are you going to say that about Alyssa Slacken? Like, are you going to say that about Hakeem Jeffries? Is that what you're going to say? Like, are you going to say that about them? Because they are. They are going after people in their own party to the left of them because they don't want to upset their donors.
Utilizing the Intifada, by way of example, is not an acceptable phrase, and he's going to have to clarify his position on that as he moves forward. With respect to the Jewish communities that I represent, I think our nominee is going to have to convince folks that he is prepared to aggressively address the rise in anti-Semitism in the city of New York, which has been an unacceptable development. And any mayor, whether you're a Democratic mayor, a Republican mayor, an independent mayor, has got to commit to the safety and well-being of all of the people of the city of New York.
Funding for anti-hate crime programming by 800%. I don't believe that the role of the mayor is to police speech in the manner especially of that of Donald Trump, who has put one New Yorker in jail who's just returned to his family, Mahmoud Khalil, for that very supposed crime of speech. Ultimately, what I think I need to show is the ability to not only talk about something, but to tackle it and to make clear that there's no room for anti-Semitism in this city. We have to root out that bigotry, and ultimately we do that through the actions, and that is the mayor I will be, one that protects Jewish New Yorkers and lives up to that commitment.
They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about all the people who went out and volunteered for the Democrats, who went out and tried to campaign for them and went to all these events for them. They don't care about them, because then when Trump became president and all of those same people were pushing them to fight, Hakeem Jeffries said, we just don't have any power. We just don't have any power. I don't see how we can do that. So he doesn't care, okay? He doesn't care, right? Most of the times, their donors are more to the right, or more right-wing. So when Bernie and AOC go out there and they say, let's fight the oligarchy, that includes people who are benefiting from it, like Hakeem Jeffries, like Alyssa Slacken. They're benefiting from it. And so, of course, Alyssa Slacken wants them to talk about kings, because she wants you to think that Donald Trump is just an anomaly, that he's just an evil person, and there could be nobody else like them, and this was only going to happen under Donald Trump. He's not unique in that. There are other people that would have been willing to do the same exact thing. This was always in the game plan. They just needed a vessel for it, and Donald Trump just happened to be the perfect person for it. But I think Democrats want to make him to be out this unique threat to democracy, and it's like, no, actually, like, we've been eroding democracy for years now, for decades now. Like when 9/11 happened, there was so much erosion of the First Amendment after that. There was so much erosion of due process after that. Roe being overturned, Roe v. Wade being overturned, gerrymandering, or like I think in this election, there was a lot of voters who were purged from the voter rolls. And so like conservatives in particular have been going after democracy for a very long time and have been eroding democracy for a very long time. But Democrats have also aided and collaborated in that erosion of democracy. And it's very important to point that out, because I think people are so willing to just be like, oh, well, they're a Democrat. They have a D next to their name. So if you don't support them, then you're just going against us and you're just like MAGA. And it's like, no, what I'm trying to do is what I'm trying to point out is that there are some people who are working against the left or the left or Democrat agenda. They work against it. Bernie and AOC are filling up stadiums. They're getting so many crowds. What is Alyssa Slacken doing? I think most people don't even know who she is. Okay? The only reason I know who she is because she did the dissent for the State of the Union. Like, who are you to tell them? But Chuck Schumer wants her to be the next leader of the party. And I think it's very clear that there are two sections to this party. There are two different sections of this party. There are people who want them to fight and who are not going to sit here and let the Democrats keep capitulating and keep pretending and doing theater and pretending like they're doing anything instead of actually fighting back. And I think a lot of liberals, blue no matter who, have woken up to the fact that Democrats have been complicit in this. For so long, everyone was so worried about Donald Trump because we knew that he wants to be an authoritarian. When you're arresting judges and you're not letting people have due process, that's not a democracy. That's not a democracy. And a lot of historians are ringing the alarm bells. And so I think everyone should be worried, and I think everyone should be prepared for the worst. I'm not trying to be doomer about it. I do think, we should still fight back and we should still use our voices. But I do think we need to stop having this normalcy bias that everything's just going to go back to normal after 4 years. I think people who think that are a little diluted. Or after the midterms or whatever, things are just going to go back to normal, and our normal wasn't even good. When they see people like Hakeem Jeffries, like Chuck Schumer, like Alyssa Slacken, and I think this is gonna be controversial, like Cory Booker, who say they, either say it out loud that they don't want to fight, like Hakeem Jeffries did it first, or like Chuck Schumer did it first. Or like an Alyssa Slacken that's being like, oh, you should say king instead, and like trying to be more, I don't know. That's just so ridiculous to me. She just doesn't want them to say oligarchy because that would hurt her donors. And then that would wake up everyone to be like, yeah, no, how about you don't have those donors and you work on behalf of us and not them? But she doesn't want people to know that, so she wants to use king instead. But I think liberals are waking up to this fact that it's like, hey, some of these Democrats who say that they care are actually fighting against your interest. Like Cory Booker just voted. He voted on a couple different bills recently that everyone was like, what the hell? Like, what the hell? But he voted to confirm one of Trump's appointees recently. Republicans don't do that. Like when they do not have the majority, they will not vote for what Democrats want. They just won't vote for it. They're not going to do it. There's maybe like one or two, but for the most part, they just like don't vote for it because they're like, no, F you. And Democrats are like, well, we just need to come across the aisle and meet in the middle. And it's like, no, that's not going to work anymore. That's not what you're dealing with anymore. People are surprised. I saw it on Threads. People are surprised that Cory Booker voted to confirm some of these people. I'm not surprised. Like, I'm not surprised. They do this all the time. They say one thing and then they do another. People have lost their faith in Democrats because they don't fight for anything. You can't even vote against their people. Like how? Like you can't even try to muck up the system like they would. And it's so crazy to me that they won't use any of these things at their disposals. And then the people who are actually fighting, who are actually out there going and talking to people, they try to undercut. Hakeem Jeffries. He's trying to tell people not to go to El Salvador anymore. He's trying to urge people not to go there anymore after a lot of Congress members went there recently to go see the people that were freaking kidnapped and taken to a concentration camp. That is what that is. Okay? And it is well known, okay? Many people have said this and have stated this, okay? You are taking them to a foreign country. You're not even deporting them. You are taking them to a foreign country, to a max freaking prison where they are known for torture. And you are telling your Congress members not to go and see their constituents. They are their constituents. Whether anybody likes it or not, they are their constituents. It's crazy to me. And this is what I'm saying. Like Hakeem Jeffries, like he is fighting against his own party. And they have finally started to win the rhetoric war on this. Finally, the Democrats started fighting back on this whole mass deportation trash, and they were starting to like win the rhetoric war that has gotten so many people to just dehumanize immigrants, just dehumanize them. They were starting to be like, hey, this is not okay. All of this to say that there are Democrats, there are centrists, there are neolibs within the Democratic Party that consistently fight against the Democratic agenda that they say is their supposed agenda, that they say what they want, but every single day there is a portion of them that consistently try to stop it from going any further, that consistently try to stop their fellow co-workers from actually making any progress. They do it all the time, and that is why a lot of them are collaborating with fascists, and they end up voting for their appointees, for their cabinet members, and appointing them. Oh, wow, they say, oh, we're gonna fight. Oh, we're fighting. This is not like, that just doesn't cut it anymore. This doesn't cut it anymore, and it shouldn't cut it anymore, and it shouldn't have cut it in the first place. But now we're at a point where I think a lot of people are realizing that that doesn't cut it anymore. Chuck Schumer was on TV yesterday talking about, oh, I sent a letter. I sent a strongly worded letter to Donald Trump.
How will you destroy Trump now that he's below 40%?
So we sent him a very strong letter just the other day, asking 8 very strong questions.
Dude, he's not gonna read your letter. Do you think he's really gonna read your letter? Do you think we asked him 8 strong questions. Do you think he's gonna read your letter? Do you really think he gives a shit? Like, it's mind-boggling to me that this is how some of the Democrats are choosing to fight. And then they do it while trying to undercut the people who are actually fighting, who are actually doing something. And it's astonishing, okay? And I think a lot of people are waking up to that fact. And I think people like Alyssa Slacken are intimidated by that. They're intimidated by the fact that the electorate is waking up to all of these centrist Democrats who do nothing. All that to say that I don't think it's the lefties or the radical left that is dividing us. I don't think people calling out Cenk is dividing the left. He is not fighting the establishment. He is starting to become the establishment. He is not fighting fascism. He has been collaborating with fascists. He has been capitulating to fascists. Okay? That's what he's been doing. And I think everyone should call that out. I think that we should have higher standards for people who say that they're, that they're Democrat or leftist or whatever. I think we should have higher standards. This video is not about him. It's about the Democrats as a whole and how they just don't want to do anything. They don't actually want to fight because this system has been benefiting them. They have benefited from the system and how it works, and they just want things to go back to the way it was. But the way it was is what got us to this. The way it was is what got us to Donald Trump. I think we should criticize Democrats. And I think it's good that on the left we have varying different opinions. I'm glad that we don't all agree on everything. I think that's a good thing. But I also think that some people get really upset when you try to criticize Democrats. I think we should expect more from them. I don't think the bar should be so low. And I think we should expect them not to vote for anything, any of Trump's appointees from here on out. But they obviously are. And so, Alyssa Slacken voted for them too. And so it's like, you're not fighting, you want to call him a king, but you're not fighting the people he's appointing. So I'm not understanding what you're trying to get at here. It's really ridiculous. And I think Bernie and AOC's responses to this were great. Bernie was like, I just don't think the American people are as stupid as you think that they are, which is true. And it's just crazy. It's just crazy. This video has been a long rant. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And yeah, please like and subscribe and all the things. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye.